In the news this week, the European Court of Human Rights has thrown out a challenge to Ash's Baking Company's unanimous Supreme Court verdict. The CI is urging parents in Scotland to contact councils over a controversial sex survey for children, and a baby born at just 22 weeks is thriving at home. Hello. The European Court of Human Rights has rejected an LGBT campaigner's challenge to the landmark Ash's Baking Company ruling. In 2018, the UK Supreme Court ruled unanimously that the Christian bakers could not be forced to promote a message supporting same-sex marriage. Lawyers for Gareth Lee tried to argue that the UK's highest court had interfered with his human rights by ruling in Ash's favour, but the court ruled the application inadmissible and that Lee was asking the court to usurp the role of the domestic courts. The decision, which cannot be appealed, was welcomed by Institute Deputy Director Simon Calvert.
So what Gareth Lee's lawyers were trying to argue was that somehow the European Convention on Human Rights creates a human right which allows you to force a private individual on pain of legal penalty to help you promote your political causes. Now, of course, there is no such right, and the court judgment makes clear that they were not convinced that any of Gareth Lee's human rights were engaged in this case. And in any event, none of this was raised by Mr. Lee's lawyers in any of the three previous hearings. So they've thrown out an attempt to appeal the case. So this is the end of the line, thankfully, and it's a good result. I feel very pleased for the MacArthur family and indeed very pleased for the Christian Institute supporters who have supported the family and prayed for them over the last 8 years. It's been a long and difficult road, but this is a good outcome.
Parents in Scotland are being urged to oppose the Scottish Government's controversial survey into the sex lives of young people. Councils are being pushed to gather information through the Health and Wellbeing Census, a survey that asks 15-year-olds how much sexual experience they have had. It contains other intrusive questions. Children aged 8 and above will be asked, how often do you enjoy being with the people you live with? The survey is not compulsory, and some councils have already said they are dropping it or removing the most explicit parts. But the Christian Institute's Scotland officer, Nigel Kenny, is urging parents to continue adding pressure by making their objections known.
It's great that a number of councils in Scotland have either amended or withdrawn this sex survey, but for those that are going ahead with it, they're probably unaware of the strength of opposition that there is from parents and indeed pupils as well. So it's really important that if you're a parent, that you get in touch with your local counsellor. And even if you're not, if, for example, you have grandchildren who are affected, or if you are a pupil yourself, please do get in touch with your council to express your opposition to this survey.
The Christian Institute has warned MSPs not to legalise assisted suicide, saying it is not the compassionate solution that activists claim. Holyrood is set to consider Liam MacArthur's assisted dying bill in the coming months, but Christians around Scotland have been voicing their opposition to the plans. The Institute, which has almost 10,000 supporters in Scotland, said a change in the law would inevitably lead to vulnerable people feeling pressured into ending their own lives for fear of being a burden. The choice to die very quickly becomes a duty to die. So-called safeguards in other jurisdictions have evaporated, often staggeringly quickly. True compassion for those who are terminally ill means valuing their lives, giving them hope, and ensuring that high-quality palliative care is available to everyone who needs it. And finally, a girl born in the US at just 22 weeks and weighing 2 pounds has been allowed home after hitting all her major developmental milestones. In the US and the UK, babies are generally not deemed viable before 24 weeks. Baby Jimena Macias was born 18 weeks early and given less than a 50% chance of survival. But after 112 days on a neonatal intensive care unit, doctors discharged Jimena, enabling her to return home to be with her parents. When Mum Juana went into labour, she was told by doctors they would not be able to resuscitate her daughter or be able to do anything for her if she was born there at that time, that early. But following Juana's transfer to a hospital with advanced neonatal facilities, the newborn was able to flourish and be discharged in time for Thanksgiving. Well, that's all for this week. For more information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.